Why would I make them so uncomfortable?
It probably has to do with your reputation. They feel your methods, your theories are...
Spooky? Do you think I'm spooky?
His face was so blank and expressionless. He didn't even seem human.
I'm not turning my back on anyone!
Have you ever found a metal implant in your body? Have you checked everywhere?
Mulder, you have to understand!
Put it down!
You put it down first!
Scully!
Go Juice!
When you need juice.
Brought to you by Fox Mulder and Maniac.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of Fox Mulder is a Maniac.
Here's Maniac! Yep.
Yeah, I am one of your hosts, David Bell.
I am another one of your hosts, Tom Ryman.
And this is a free episode, folks.
It is, you lucky ducks.
Yeah. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're enjoying this gift we're giving to you.
Yeah. You're enjoying this Mulder Day on the second of what is a 3-day weekend, although for many of the country, weekends are meaningless.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, time is an illusion.
Right. It never before has it become so apparent that the idea of time and scheduling is just a completely human construct.
Oh yeah, we made it all up. Money, time. Yeah. It's all a mess. It's when you take it all away, you just realize we're just twisting in the wind. You know, it's good times. It's good times, Tom.
I think we made it all up to make money.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good racket. We got a good racket going.
It's a solid racket. Yeah, days and hours and shit.
Folks, so this is a free episode, and for that reason, we should probably explain what the hell we're doing here, because maybe some of you haven't heard this show before.
It's an excellent point.
Yeah, what we've been doing is we've been going through the X-Files for a while now, episode by episode, in chronological order in which they were released. And we discuss them in the framing of just how absolutely bonkers Fox Mulder is when you really step back from it all, and how he probably shouldn't be working at the FBI.
Yeah.
And we at the end of every episode, we give a rating between 1 and 10 to talk about just how bonkers he is. We usually talk about the episode first, and then we talk about how lucky he is, usually in his detective work, and then just like overall thoughts about Mulder and his insanity, and then we discuss who's enabling him and just how fired he should have been each episode.
It's a whole listen.
It's a whole thing.
You delightful listeners. It's a whole smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Of Fox Mulder, and you're about to hear it. You're about to get an earful.
Oh yeah, and the reason this is a free episode is because we're on to season 3, episode 20, otherwise known as Jose Chung's From Outer Space.
Woo!
Yeah, one of probably, I would say, the most popular X-Files episode, or at least the most
it's definitely
liked.
It's this and on the different sites I see, this one and Bad Blood are always the top ranked ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're pretty similar.
They
in
are.
Terms of the device that they use.
I assume they're both written by Darren Morgan.
I would be shocked if they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, this one certainly is. It's the episode where nothing makes sense, where two teenagers are abducted and Mulder and Scully are trying to find it out, and it's all through the eyes or through the words of Scully explaining the case to a writer named Jose Chung, who is researching a book based off the events. And so it's very unreliable narration. It's not all through that.
It's not all because he's sharing his notes with her that he got from other people. It's very Russian.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of the point of the episode is that how much words can change and how people, like, we really don't know what happened because there's so many factors here. There's government brainwashing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think we can actually piece together. I've seen this episode so many times.
Well, I do think there's a correct series of events.
Right. Like, I think we could piece together what actually happened.
Yeah. And I guess, am I correct here, Tom? Because, yeah, I've watched this a lot. I believe it's about the idea that the government is going to abduct these two kids dressed as aliens. they get counter abducted by probably not
by an actual alien.
By either an actual alien or like they mentioned the Russians. They sort of brushed that off, but like presumably because like the actual alien is also kind of
right, he's ridiculous by design. Though.
By design, yeah. And so then they all get abducted, and then the pilots and the kids they get let go by those aliens, picked up by the government, as well as certain witnesses, people who witnessed the abduction, and further hypnotized to think that something else happened.
Correct. And also Mulder and Scully were hypnotized.
Yes, at some point they were. Yeah, well, not at some point. They were hypnotized by the Men in Black, who probably didn't also exist.
Maybe.
Well, the Men in Black are part of the illusion, I believe.
Yeah, like Mulder and Scully, they drop little hints. Like there's a repeated phrase, "How the hell should I know?"
I'm a dead man.
I'm a dead man. Like they got hypnotized. It's not clear when, but basically, yeah, what Dave just said is what happens.
Yeah.
There's a government initiative to stage alien abductions, basically to discredit actual abductions. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's two Air Force pilots, I think, or they might be Navy. Anyway, they're flying an actual UFO. Dressed as aliens, they abduct these two teens. An actual alien or something comes down and abducts all four of them.
Lord Kinboat.
Right. And the alien that abducts them is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's mentioned it's by design, and it's because whoever hypnotized them into coming up with the story made that third party completely ridiculous so nobody would believe the story.
Right. This was, of course, we mentioned written by Darren Morgan, who he played the Fluke Man.
He did?
Yeah. He's also written some of the best episodes of the series.
He has, and they're usually comedic.
Yes. They're usually very self-aware.
His first one was the Freak Show one, right?
Humbug? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This is I'm holding in my hand the official third season guide to the X-Files.
Oh, the good word.
Yeah, the good word. And
on this, the Lord's Day, Mulder's Day.
Yeah, and one of the details I really like is the writing staff, knowing this episode was coming, pulled a practical joke on the offices of like the production offices, and they kept calling the production offices pretending to be a writer named Jose Chung pitching an episode. And they kept turning down the solicitation because they were like, no, we don't, people can't just call.
Yeah, no, it's a whole legal mess.
Yeah, and so they got, just so that the production offices would get very surprised when this script showed up as like something they were shooting.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's clearly a favorite of a lot of people. If you notice the detective is named Manners.
Yeah, after Kim Manners.
After Kim Manners, who was known to swear a lot, hence the version. Hence the
bleepity blanks.
Yeah. There's not too much here. The big thing was that it was directed by what's his name? Rob Bowman.
Rob Bowman.
And he had like extensive meetings with Darren Morgan because they were like, he was like, I know what's happening here, but I'm afraid that people won't know. And it does take a couple of watches to be like, okay, I think I got it.
Yeah, I remember seeing this episode when it aired and not liking it because I was really confused by it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
I was, it aired in 96, April of 96. I was a 13-year-old kid who's just tuning in for, some X-Files, like completely without any trace of irony.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see Mulder hunt some Bogginses, and then this episode comes up, which is almost self-parody.
Yes.
But as I saw it more, and then of course as I got older, the genius of this episode
it's real good
becomes apparent. Yeah, but I do understand that. Like this is a weird one to throw at X-Files fans with no setup.
Yeah,
because it is so different
They were at the
any other episode.
Yeah, they were at the time really thankful for it, according to this book, because they felt like they were in a slump in the season, which makes sense if you think of the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, they've been pretty Mulder light.
Yeah, and pretty straightforward.
We had the cat episode, and then Hell Money, like one right after the other.
Yeah.
I think.
In the script, Lord Kimboat was referred to as the behemoth from the planet Harryhausen, which is...
He does look like the Harryhausen Cyclops.
Yeah. That was played by the makeup supervisor. Oh, no. It was created by the makeup supervisor,
I was going to say that because it's clearly a stop-motion puppet.
Tony Morale was in the costume. It was the...
Oh, it's a costume?
Yep, it was the stunt coordinator. The feet were on where the knees were to make it really tall.
Mm-hmm. So did they just film it? Did they film it
It
like
had remote-controlled eyes and eyelids.
To make it look like a puppet?
Yes. They then, it's right here in the book, then digitally manipulated the footage to make the creature look more like a product of stop-motion animation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is also the first X-Files episode that Mark Snow included the theme of the show in his score at the very end.
At the very end.
Yep.
Yeah, at the very end.
So that's kind of cool. It's also ends surprisingly... I always forget how kind of sad.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
It's a really fascinating episode.
Yeah, it's it's my personal favorite. I like it more than I like Bad Blood a lot.
It's tough. It's tough to name a favorite because I love the shit. We talked about it. It's at the beginning of this season. I'm looking for when season 3 begins.
Give me anything.
Clive Bruckman.
Clive Bruckman, yeah.
It's Paperclip. It's Anasazi to DPO. That span is maybe my favorite span of the X-Files, and I really like the whole Anasazi arc. I like a lot of the the conspiracy syndicate stuff. So I wasn't
as into the mythology episodes.
Okay, yeah.
All of my favorite episodes are one-offs like this, Bad Blood, Squeeze.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's
Humbug, Quagmire.
They're 2 different aspects of the show, and I love them both.
Yes.
I constantly fluctuate between the 2 because the ones that are like really emotional for the characters, the ones that really like dig into the characters I really like, and then these are just so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick between the 2.
Yeah, Jose Chung's, I got a full disclosure, I've watched this episode probably 3 times in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's so good.
Because, well, it's not even that, it's just like Marina knew it was coming up.
Oh,
and she released this episode, so we just kept watching it.
Man, yeah. It's the fucking pie scene, we'll get to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that and the pie scene is the diner owner getting hypnotized, but yeah.
All right, that's what we're gonna. Yes, probably. It could be Mulder getting hypnotized, but it's most likely the diner owner because the government comes in. Yeah, it's both.
They want it to seem. The idea is that they're hypnotizing people to make whatever they say seem completely unbelievable.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the idea that Mulder would sit down and eat one piece of pie per question he was asking is ludicrous for Mulder.
Well, unless he's like in a trance at the time.
Well, also,
like Scully was when she's getting ice, like she's clearly been hypnotized during that moment. If that moment existed.
If it even
because
exists.
Mulder then sees the ice is melted the next day, so it implies that something happened.
She did get ice, but I love that scene because it's like a cut to Scully sitting on the bed like, what are you doing in my room?
Yeah. God, can you imagine waking up to see Mulder in your room?
Mulder's just sitting there looking at you.
Ah, jeez. There's something I don't think I noticed before in this episode. It's very small. It's not. It's actually not small. It's just funny that I never noticed that what the pilot is doing with the mashed potatoes. I never caught that before.
He's making the mountain from.
He's doing Devil's Tower. Yeah. I never caught that.
Yeah, it's real small.
Yeah. Also, the Lord Kimboat guy, what's his name? Rocky. He's like depressingly relevant as a character, I feel like now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Spinning off into wild conspiracy theories.
Yeah. This this show has, I think, the most relatable line of the entire series for me, which was the guy who says, I just want to be taken away to some place where I don't have to worry about finding a job. And I was like, yes.
Yep,
the guy wants to be abducted.
Same. Yeah, he wants
like
to be
that's all he wants. It's like, oh yeah. God, what a great episode.
Yeah, just one more thing about the diner owner. He says, like, the Jose Chung, who's played delightfully by Charles Nelson Riley.
Right. People also were saying he was fucking great on set. They loved him.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a delightful man. But the diner owner, he says that it's like how he became a dear friend of mine, and the diner owner has no memory of the night where Mulder talked to the pilot and the military came and took the pilot away.
Right.
Instead, with the pilot, the only time the diner owner remembers seeing Mulder is that pie scene. So that's like even more evidence towards, oh yeah, they were all hypnotized.
Right. Oh yeah, it's a big old mess.
Yeah, it's a huge mess.
It's a big old fuck up on the government's behalf. I feel like the government fucks up in this.
They do. Yeah. It's a government fuck up. It's them trying to cover their asses.
Yeah. I guess we should get into the show.
It's going to be an interesting one.
It is, because I have a good deal.
We only have like maybe one scene that we can guarantee actually happened.
Yeah, I guess. All right, let's.
Well, two scenes: the beginning and the end, when Mulder comes to see him.
Yeah, I would say the stuff that's Scully's perspective is fairly reliable, like the interrogations and Mulder's theories, and the stuff with the detective Manners, and like the plane crash at the end. Like, I think these are all things that happen. We're definitely going to have to talk it through what happened and what didn't.
Yeah.
But I do think, yes, everybody was hypnotized and brainwashed, but if the government, I don't think it was I think it's just for certain areas, because other areas are things that the government would certainly not want anybody to know about. And the writer himself, Jose Chung, talks to all these people, so there's like some level of, okay, we know this crime was committed. We know these kids were abducted. Like, we know what happened before or after. Like, they check in with the girl after. So I think there's a lot of stuff that we can sort of confirm. For our first section, World's Luckiest Detective, the one thing I want to point out is that the detective Manners just keeps walking in and going, I just got a call from some crazy bleephead who claims to have witnessed this abduction. And then later it's a crazy blankety blank claiming he found a real life dead body. Like, those were real things that happened.
Possibly.
You think it's up for
I think it's
debate?
up for debate because of how corny it is.
Yeah, but
Like,
the video exists. The alien autopsy video exists.
Alien autopsy, well, we assume it exists, yeah.
Well, because they're watching it with Jose Chung. So it definitely exists.
Oh, right, they see it on TV with Yappy.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is there's certain stuff that's after the fact.
Here's something I want to point out real quick about Yappy's involvement.
Yeah.
Yappy has met Mulder and Scully. And
he's
who are these mysterious people in this video? You know them.
Yeah, he's grifting. He's grifting like a madman.
He's a fucking hardcore
Scully says they cut out the part where they see that it was that
it's a human. Yeah,
that it's a human. But yeah, I think they got lucky with the fact that people keep stumbling over like the dead pilot body and calling them.
Well, they wanted them to. Well, actually, no, not the first body.
I don't think the government wanted them to. Yeah,
not the first. The plane crash. They wanted them.
Yeah, the government would have gotten to that. Like the pilot. I love that the Lord Kimbo aliens. By the way the teenagers describe it is that he's like, and then I was just flying through the air, and then I hit the ground. So like the aliens just like abducted those guys, did whatever with them, and chucked them out of their UFO.
Just fucking threw them out of the spaceship.
And the pilot is even further proof. Yeah, that pilot is just in a field somewhere because he was chucked out of a goddamn UFO.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Yeah, and that guy tripping over him, I think that counts as lucky. I think him running into the other pilot is pretty lucky,
Running into the other pilot is lucky, yeah. He's just driving down the street and happens to see the guy walking.
Yeah. And like that's mostly I mean, it's sort of everything, but every development they get in this case is pure luck. It's some rando happened upon something, or Mulder himself runs into his star witness that he's looking for. I don't know. I don't think that's hypnotism. I don't think that's something, because it's when they're in the diner when the government gets involved.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Like the chain, the relative chain, not the relative, the basic chain of events as presented to us, I think is correct.
Yeah, it can be confirmed after the fact. But this is the thing, is that this is such a tough episode, because either he ran into the pilot on the road, which is a ridiculous coincidence. They went to the diner, then the government intervened, which is what Mulder remembers, right?
Yes.
That does seem like, if I were the government, that's the thing I wouldn't want to happen. Or Mulder was like weirdly brainwashed, because is this after they run into Alex Trebek, who we didn't even mention is in this episode?
They run into Alex Trebek when Mulder goes into Scully's hotel room.
And is that after he meets the pilot, or is it before?
Yes, that's after he meets the pilot.
Okay.
It's one of the last things to happen.
Okay. Because the whole point...
Scully wakes up to that morning, I think they go find the plane crash.
Okay, yeah. Because the whole point with the pilot is he's like, man, I don't even know that I'm here right now. Like,
right, yeah.
I don't know that we're having this conversation.
Right, he's like, don't you get it? I'm absolutely sure we got kidnapped. So I'm absolutely sure I'm sitting here talking to you right now.
So there is a version, I think, of events where Mulder was like brainwashed and in a weird trance when ate a bunch of pie. Here's the reason I'm not. You're right. Is that it's most likely that the diner owner.
As delightful as it would be for our show, I really don't think it actually happened.
Oh no, I don't think it actually happened. But I don't know if this is a writing flaw. The questions that Mulder asks him are extremely Mulder questions.
Yes.
And so that's why I was like, man, I don't know if I can dismiss this. Because he asked them, like, have you experienced missing time? Have you found an alien implant in your body? Those are very Mulder questions. But you're right, it makes the most sense that the government was trying to cover up them grabbing the pilot, so they hypnotized the diner owner.
And Mulder's questions are so generic. They're like generic abduction questions. They don't really pertain to the current case.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
But I mean, there are questions that Mulder would ask.
They're exactly questions Mulder would ask.
Yeah. But there are also questions that the government would know that he would ask.
Yeah, that's true. They know Mulder at this point.
Yeah, they know Mulder at this point. Game Mulder.
Yeah, I want to talk about in World's Luckiest Detective, Mulder doing a good detective work. We never praise him. Where the government comes in to find the dead body.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, well, you can talk to the other AWOL pilot that was brought in as a bluff.
Really, really sharp.
Yeah,
really
and then they say the pilot's name, and he's like, I guess he went AWOL because he just needed to get the name from them. Mm-hmm. There's some good Mulder work there.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. Yeah. Nice work, Mulder.
Assuming it happened. I do think all that I think
that happened.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for World's Luckiest Detective? It's tough. This is tough.
Every section of this episode is going to be difficult.
I have a lot to say about Mulder in the parts that we know are real.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
Okay. Well, let's get on. Yeah, let's slip into our alien costume.
Put on your galoshes.
Yeah.
Get your probing finger ready.
Yeah. Wiggle that finger and
wiggle that little ET finger.
just slide it on into Mulder After Dark. Ooh, chills.
Delish.
Chills. Delicious chills. I 100% believe that Mulder would hear the story of a rape victim and immediately dismiss it for alien abductions. It's not the first time he's done it.
He'd be really adamant about, no, let's hypnotize her. Then we'll find out the truth.
Yeah.
She wasn't raped.
He goes on a hypnotizing rampage.
Rape isn't a thing that constantly happens.
Right. It's very telling. when he questions her, because the idea is this girl and this guy, they're out like smooching in a car, and they get abducted, and so she wakes up with no memory and her clothes inside out, and it's like, yeah, I think we can all figure out what that is, you know.
Well, they also, Scully or somebody, I think it's Scully, specifically says that it
was date rape,
examined, and she did have sex,
right? And so like it's just like, I don't know why they got this case to begin with, but I'm sure Mulder,
because the alien involvement, they're all like a couple of the parties are ranting about aliens.
Oh right, yeah. The boyfriend is saying it was aliens, and in his defense, it sort of was, but there's Mulder immediately dismisses the idea that she was drugged and assaulted, and he asks her questions, and the questions to determine if she was in fact an alien abductee, he asks her, are you having trouble sleeping? Are you experiencing muscle pains, vision problems, nosebleeds? When you look at a particular object, you receive the sudden flash that you're actually looking at something else.
That's all PTSD.
Or a concussion. These are all these are not things that you can definitely say, yep, it's aliens.
Right, and I think Scully actually points out to him in the episode. It's like Mulder, she's also this. All of those things could be attributed to the behavior of somebody who's just experienced a severe trauma.
So he sat down with this teenager who might have been sexually assaulted, and asked her these questions, and then she answered positive. These questions that could mean a lot of things, and then tells her, "You have post-abduction syndrome. I'd like you to be hypnotized." Which is just
classic
absolute
Mulder.
Madness.
Just fucking classic Mulder.
This poor girl. And then he doesn't get satisfied with her answers and has her hypnotized again. Because he's like, no, that was no good. And he's playing it real.
Fuck this.
Yeah. He's playing it so fast and loose with the hypnotism in this. It's very Mulder. The whole, and then his interrogation of the guy, which that's one where I'm not sure if it's real or not because it gets mirrored. The interrogation scene is mirrored.
Yes, we can't say for certain whether that happened because it's mirrored with the doctors and the military people.
Well,
hypnotism. Right?
Oh, I mean, yes,
and the aliens.
The hypnotism and aliens. I mean, the interrogation where he says we were abducted by aliens. He goes, "You don't sound so sure of that."
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, well, it also seems so crazy. And then they do it later where Mulder is asking the same questions, but...
Right, yeah. There's a lot of mirroring in this part of the episode. So we can't really be certain that any of this happened.
Right, so I don't know whether or not Mulder actually told the teenage boy that he's going to get raped in prison.
Well, it's a threat he makes a lot.
I was going to say, it's something that Mulder has said before.
It's something that Mulder has said and will say again in the future.
Yeah.
Because he was written by men in the 90s.
But I do think, good God, Mulder, he is not handling this possible sexual assault very well. He rampages in. Yeah, he rolls in like aliens and just takes over these two teenage kids' lives. And there's very little evidence of aliens at this point. They don't have the other witness yet.
No, they don't have the pilots yet.
Yeah, so this is just a girl saying I was assaulted and a guy saying no, it was aliens. And Mulder walks in and he's like, what's this about aliens now?
Yeah, this is just...
I think this gentleman is right.
Yeah, it's just the hoots of a madman.
Yeah, he's just feeding into this delusion at this point. And again, through pure luck is right, but it makes me wonder how many times he's done this and has been wrong. How many times it's gotten really dark and he just vanished. He just drove out of that town and never looked back. Because good God, Mulder. And then Mulder later is like, so what if they had sex? And it's like, oh, geez, Mulder.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Mulder.
Yeah. He also starts, he really wants to believe the Lord Kinboat stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not saying he's not delusional. I'm saying that maybe there's something to it, which actually is right.
Right. He did see something.
But he's that stuff we can definitively say. The way he investigates, the way he comes into the sexual assault and instantly decides it's a alien abduction, that the guy is the right one. Like, that happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, maybe he didn't slap and threaten that kid. Probably not.
Oh, man, I hope he did.
Yeah, there's a few things in here that's within the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't believe that because he also makes Scully do the same thing to him in his story.
Yeah, that's true.
She says you find out if you didn't see anything, it's the you're a dead man thing. They both say it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I have one other biggie, but do you what?
The only thing I have.
Okay.
Is that when Mulder goes to visit Jose Chung at the very key episode, yep, is he manages to make a huge conspiracy out of it. Would it be true?
I don't. Okay. So first of all, he's sneaking around the guy's apartment outside like a real weirdo.
Yeah, he gets the janitor to show him which door is Jose Chung's office, and it briefly looks like an alien head.
Right. He clearly had like a prepared speech for Jose Chung. Mm-hmm. And then he goes off the rails. I wrote it all down if you want to hear.
Yeah, okay. Regale us, yeah.
He goes into Jose Chung's. He's like, what can I do for you? And he goes, don't write this book. You'll perform a disservice to a field of inquiry that has always struggled for respectability. You're a gifted writer, but no amount of talent could describe the events that occurred in any realistic vein because they deal with alternate realities that we've yet to comprehend. And when presented in the wrong way, in the wrong context, the incidents and the people involved in them can appear foolish, if not downright psychotic. And that's Mulder's, like, it clearly feels prepared, like he was like in the taxi on the way. Yeah. And then he can't help himself. And he that's where it should end. And then he goes, I also know that your publishing house is owned by Ward & White Incorporated, a subsidiary of McDougall Kessler, which makes me suspect a covert agenda for your book on the part of the military-industrial entertainment complex, which made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
The military-industrial
entertainment complex.
If I had a production company, that's what I'd name it.
Oh, hell yeah.
What is Mulder talking about?
No idea. He
accuses him of being part of a Jose Chung's book. His sci-fi book is a government operation to discredit Mulder. Is that the idea?
To discredit UFOlogy.
Okay. That the cigarette smoking man was like, let's get that Jose Chung on it.
Yeah.
It's just a very funny, paranoid thing for Mulder to say.
It is. It's extremely hilarious. When you look at it even in context, it's very funny.
Yeah, it reminded me of him tasting blood in that other episode. Yeah. Where it's like, most of this is like, we can't confirm or deny what Mulder... Well, there's some that we can... But, like, then he whips that out at this last minute. I was just like, oh, there it is. There's that Mulder we know and love.
There's that Mulder. There you are, Fox.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Fox.
Yeah. And then, to punctuate it, then we see when Jose Chung is writing the end of his book, they cut to Mulder, and Mulder is sitting in bed, shirt off, ready to sleep, casually watching
the Bigfoot video.
Yes. Just watching it, I assume, over and over again. Just, that's what he's doing. Just sitting in bed watching Bigfoot.
Watching the Bigfoot video.
Over and over again.
And then Jose Chung describes him as like a madman.
A ticking time bomb of insanity.
Yeah.
Jose Chung has his number. Jose Chung. What else does he have to conclude? Mulder's plan is to show up at Jose Chung's door in the middle of the night. Uh-huh. This is how he's going to convince him not to write the book. Uh-huh. He's not going to take any legal measures. He said to himself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right down to that. First of all, okay, I need to back up because Mulder doesn't want to participate in the book, but he did lend his office to Scully to...
Yeah, they are meeting in his office. Well, I guess it's Scully's office, too.
Say what?
I guess it's Scully's office, too.
Well, there's a whole episode about that later. There's an episode that begins with Scully looking around going, why don't I have a desk? It's the one where she has sex with the guy with the haunted tattoo.
Oh, right.
Yeah, played by Jodie Foster. Oh, I'm excited for that one.
That's a wow.
That's going to be a Dana Scully is a Maniac episode.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. But yes, it's technically her office too. She doesn't have an office. That's an overall problem with the series that Scully takes way too long to realize, which is like, I'm just like sitting in the corner of your weird ass office. I don't get anything in here.
Your fucking lair.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it is like Mulder shouldn't have to let Scully use it. So maybe Scully was like, no, fuck, I'll use the office.
Yeah.
But Mulder clearly has been sulking this whole time and trying to think about, like, what do I do about this book? And his answer was, I'm going to go to his house his office late at night, not call him, and then give this speech, and then accuse him of being part of the military-industrial entertainment complex. And it's like, geez, Mulder, you're not making a case for yourself. Like, of course, he describes you as a ticking time bomb of insanity after that. And then he presumably... Okay, we don't know how the days work in this, but did he go from that to going home and watching Bigfoot footage?
I don't know. I think it could be at any time.
Yeah.
Because the narration we hear is from Jose Chung's, like, epilogue to the book.
Right, and Scully's reading the book. It doesn't really matter when that happens.
No.
Just that it happens.
It's just a snapshot into Mulder's life. Yep, that's what he's doing.
He had dinner. He brushed his teeth. He took a shower. He got into his PJs. And he was like, I'm not ready to sleep, but I want to relax. What should I do?
I'll put on the Bigfoot video.
Yeah, I'm going to put on the Bigfoot video over and over again. The video that's like, I think Mulder would know it's a hoax, right? It's like clearly,
it's
that was a proven hoax. Yeah. And just watch it on a loop until you fall asleep. But he's not, he's like, he's got the remote in his hand, like he's watching a porno.
Yes.
Like he wants to pause it and rewind and pause. Like he's investigating it, is the idea.
He's
in bed.
Studying it, yes.
Casually. We ask why Mulder knows so much random information about sci-fi stuff. This is probably why, right?
Yeah, it's because of things like this.
Yeah. Like, if he's not doing that, he's just reading some crazy book while eating cookies in bed. It's all he does. That and pornography.
Listen, there's a lot of ground to cover with pornography.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is the last, 2 minutes of this episode really shined for me when it came to Mulder.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's like the only... Yes.
Yeah.
Partially because it's like the only verified time we get to spend with him in this episode, but also because he crams a lot into those 2 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on Mulder After Dark?
No.
All right. Well, let's get into fireable offenses then. I think that Mulder's handling of a sexual assault is pretty fucking grim. I don't know. I don't know about firing, but I feel like he could get sued.
Yeah, probably. They could probably file a complaint against him.
He convinced an assault victim to get hypnotized twice while feeding her UFO abduction stories.
Yes.
Like, that is irresponsible.
Yeah, to say the very least.
Yeah, and then at the end, did anybody go to jail? It's just like they just were put up their hands and went, oh well, and walked away from this fucking mess of a town. I am, because we don't know what actually happened, so it's hard to, him breaking into that guy's house and saying he was going to kill him and taking the tape, sure. I don't think that happened.
No, it didn't happen.
It's the problem with this episode in the terms of our podcast. But I do think some things definitely happened, which is that Mulder showed up at this town where there was a sexual assault that happened, heard the word aliens, and just brought in his fucking crazy parade.
Ruined the investigation.
Yep, just ruined it. And just by pure fucking luck, happened to be a case where alien abduction was credible. And it just really makes me think about the times it wasn't.
Yeah.
And how many times he's
All
convinced...
the times he's done this where it hasn't been aliens.
Yeah, well, how many times has Mulder covered for a rapist by showing up and being like, it was aliens, and like hypnotizing the victim and being like, tell me about your alien abduction.
Tell me about the alien.
It's really goddamn irresponsible.
It is, yeah, it totally is. Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, that's all I have for Fireable offenses. So
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else.
I guess we're gonna get into Name the Enabler.
Yes. I don't know.
It really is. It's
He sort of enables himself on this one.
Yeah, he enables the kids by hypnotizing them multiple times.
Yeah, that's true. He does do that.
He's kind of... I can't tell if the government is glad he's involved or not. Because I do think when they're like, okay, we fucked up. The government's kind of the enabler in this because the government fucked up.
That's true, yeah. And
they must...
these alternate versions of what happened.
Right, and they're just like, look, we just have to make it so confusing. Let's get our Alex Trebek lookalike to pop in there. Again, who may or may not have existed. We haven't even talked about Jesse Ventura as well. Fucking MVP of the episode with his Venus speech.
You know, Venus is the object most confused with UFOs in the night sky.
It's so fucking good.
It's fucking amazing.
God, do you think they talked on set, Trebek and Ventura?
I think Trebek was just there for that one shot.
Yeah, probably. For people who haven't watched this episode, first of all, you should, but the Men in Black are purposefully confusing so that when you describe it later, you sound out of your mind. And so one of the Men in Black is just played by Alex Trebek. Yeah. And they're like the game show host? This guy says, I didn't say it was Trebek, just a person who looked incredibly like him.
Yeah. And the other one is Jesse Ventura saying very odd things.
Yeah. It's fantastic. But yeah, they I guess my question was, they're doing all this stuff to confuse people, and then do you think they were happy when Mulder showed up and they're like, oh, thank God?
I think they were, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank Christ.
He's gonna just throw so much
we might not even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll just ruin this all by himself.
Yeah, let's just watch him fuck it all up. So if anything, yeah, Mulder enables the cover-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really assists in it, just by his presence.
Yeah. I think that brings us to our final section.
Yeah, Crazy Like a Fox. This is where we assign a numerical rating from 1 to 10, grading exactly how out of control, irresponsible Mulder was in this episode. This is hard to say, but based on just the stuff that we know is true, I might give this like a 4. Yeah,
the convincing a sexual assault victim that she's been abducted by aliens.
Yeah, and then going to intimidate a writer into not publishing his book after that.
Yes, that's kind of batshit.
Yeah.
That might be a 5 for me. That's really irresponsible. This reminds me of... it reminds me of in Hell Money, when he randomly, because he randomly implicates the detective.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't just say with no evidence that someone did it out loud in a police station.
Say things.
Yeah. And he just says, he's in on it. And by pure luck, he's right.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing, is by pure luck, because no evidence. When he rolls into town, there is no evidence of an abduction other than one guy's word against another person. And like, he sides with the guy who might be a rapist. That is
because he said alien.
That is something else. So yeah, I think that's 5 worth.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm thinking of what were our other 5s. We had Soft Light was a 5, where Mulder fucking gives up Tony Shalhoub to the shadow government.
The shadow government.
Yeah.
Like
Little Green
tool.
Men, the one where Mulder goes to Puerto Rico without an exit strategy.
He just goes there to die.
Yep. Jersey Devil, when he runs around Atlantic City looking for a naked woman.
Yeah, with no car. He sleeps in the garbage.
Yes, he does. So yeah, I think that's 5 worthy. This is this was definitely one of those episodes, like, I put this like right next to the eventual Never Again episode where it's mostly about Scully, where it's kind of a hard one for our premise, or Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man, where it's like we have to like kind of adjust our conversation because it's not.
Yeah, well, yeah, those will be more challenging for sure because Mulder's not in Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man.
Yeah, just his voice. But yeah, it's sort of similar because there's so much in this where it's like, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Our next episode, though, which will be back on our Patreon, is Avatar.
Ooh.
Yeah. Very excited. This is the one where Skinner wakes up next to a sex worker who's been killed and has been implicated in the murder of a sex worker.
Yes.
And that is what an abrupt deviation of the series.
We get a lot of real insight, jarring insights into Skinner's life in this episode.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, we learn about his divorce. It is and then after that is Quagmire, which is going to be fucking fun as hell.
Well, I mentioned at the top, it's one of my favorites. So. Oh,
it's so good.
Yeah, Quagmire's great.
Yeah, the future's very bright here. But we did it. We got through Jose Chung's.
We did.
We're good. We're healthy.
Yeah. We're celebrating Mulder Day.
Yeah, we had a great Mulder Day, folks. Since this is a free episode, I should mention our Patreon. That's patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That is where you get the other episodes of this series, Fox Mulder is a Maniac. And you should check it out. We've had 10s before, folks.
We have had 10s. There are 10s.
Yeah. We've had some free 10 episodes, but we had a good. Let's see, how many 10s have we had this season? Anasazi is season 2. Blessing Way is a 10.
I think Blessing Way.
One where is that the one where Mulder astral projects?
It's the one where he jumps on a train.
Yeah, and that's it until we have a solid. Oh no, 731 is a 10. Nisei is a 9. That all checks out.
Yep.
Grotesque is a 9. The one where Mulder just loses his mind for no reason.
Right, he's not possessed.
Yeah. The one where Mulder is not possessed by a demon, but sure acts like it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, these memories.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of episodes for y'all to sink your little teeths into.
Yeah. Get in there.
Yeah, get in there.
Get in.
Yeah. We also, we got a lot of stuff. You just check it out. Just check it out.
We have so much stuff on my desk. I have stuff on my desk. I got an asthma inhaler right here. Mm-hmm. I got the X-Files book, but you guys know that. Mm-hmm. I got one of them.
Go ahead.
What do you have?
No.
It's your turn.
Okay, I've got some scraps of paper, an empty can of Coke Zero.
Oh, cool.
A swab with some rubbing alcohol on it that I was using to clean something.
Oh. I have one of those pill things, the ones that have the Monday through...
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I'm looking for those.
Yeah, I put my vitamins in it.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff going on.
We got a lot of stuff. You guys could be a part of it.
be a part of our life.
Yeah. I think that's... Oh, wait, we have a store, too. We have a store, tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed. We can get t-shirts, stickers, mugs, all kinds of stuff. We even have masks.
Yeah, we have a bunch of Fox Mulder's
in these
Maniacs
trying
stuff.
times.
Yeah. We have a poster by Starlene Hodge.
We do, yeah. It's a great
who also did
poster.
our podcast cover art for this. Mm-hmm. It's delightful. You can get it. You can you can
customize your life with some Mulder gear.
Mm-hmm. Get a bunch so you can like block out all your windows so it's nice and dark in your apartment or your house. Mm-hmm. Just do the thing like in that movie Bug, mm-hmm. like cover it all up.
Yeah,
just live in the darkness.
Yeah, no, don't
with just our voices.
The sun is deceitful.
Yeah, you just need our voices.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
Artwork for Fox Mulder is a Maniac is produced by Starlene Hodge. Follow her on Twitter at StarleneX. That's Starlene with an X. Or check out her delightful webcomic at rubywhipple.com.